All right, so while we get the mic stand, so because we're going to do some participation a little bit later, thank you everyone for coming to the Mental Health and Bullying Cons. Yes. As my other sensei comes in. Hi, Azawa. Okay, so this is my second time doing this here for Zenkaikon, and I feel this is very important. And this is coming from someone who is in the autism spectrum, simply because I come here to come to cons and have fun and all that. However, you know, as with real life, there's always going to be toxicity wherever you go. So I feel this is a very important panel to give, and I hope everyone takes away from it something good from it. So also, I want to dedicate this panel to two of my friends. One of them is actually here. Alex and Jennifer. Yes, that's him over there. I dedicate this panel to him. So, and our mutual friend Jennifer. So both of them actually were cyberbullied 2 years ago on Twitter, which doesn't make sense because I know these two people for so many years. They would not do such a thing or whatnot. I don't know why they would get bullied over Twitter. I'm not calling that other name. So, and I just want to say that, you know, going forward, this 1 hour, this should be a safe space, all right, where you can express yourself, and if you don't feel comfortable talking, it's okay too, all right? So later on, I'll give people opportunity to express, you know, their stories or whatnot. Yes? I think that's fine in the middle over there. So, you're not alone, and I cannot emphasize this enough. You know, it's one thing to know that you're not alone, but when you're in that position, sometimes you just get to the default thinking that, oh, I'm alone, you know, no one's gonna help me. That, well, however you feel and all that, you're valid, and your life is precious, and your life matters. Okay. So, oh, you know, I forgot to do the full screen. There we go. Okay, so what comes to mind when it comes to mental health? Any volunteers? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Shout it out.
Therapy.
Therapy, yes. Go ahead. Yes, you. Okay, raising your hand.
Basically wellness.
Very good. Stress. Mindfulness. What else?
Medication.
That's right. I'm a pharmacist. I forgot to tell you. So that beats in my heart. And yes, go ahead.
Self-attack.
Self-attack.
Mentally and physically.
Unfortunately, it is. It's everything. But specifically, we all have it. It's, people think, when they think of mental health, they think it's something bad. No, mental health is a status. You can have a good mental health, just like with your physical health, or you can have a bad mental health, or you can be mental ill, you can be mentally unstable, mentally stable, all these kinds of things. And mental health is a part of everybody. It's something to look after. It's real, it's complex, and obviously it's very important. I don't think people understand how important it is. And it's something, well, actually it's up to you. You can change, or some things you can't change. It's more nuanced than that. However, mental health, it's never a sign of weakness. And even though it says all in your head, it is in your head, but it's real. You know, however you feel on that, you're valid. Something you can just snap at, no, that's not mental health. Mental health is not something where, you know, you turn on the light switch or you turn off the light switch. That's not how it works. It's a very complex thing. And it's not a negative thing, all right, also. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. And I think there's still the stigma going on, and, you know, we're here to break it, all right? So I can't do this alone. So, mental health there's nothing negative about it. It's just a status. It's condition, well-being of the mind. So it covers your emotions, psychological and social well-being. So it affects how we think, feel, act, how we make decisions, and has an effect on coping on stress and relating to others in decision making. So as you brought up, stress plays a very important role. How each person handles with stress can differ among each individual. So it's connected to physical health, and people, again, there are people who know about it, but it's just they don't really fully acknowledge that. What happens in the mind affects the body and vice versa. So, obviously we've taken a test before. How do you feel when you take a test?
Stress.
Of course. What else? Go ahead. Yes. Yes. Feeling crappy. Yes.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. Yes.
Anxiety.
Yes, Johnny. All right. So, what symptoms, what feelings does your body tell you? What is it? Yes, some people throw up, yes. What else? Sweaty palms. What else? Sorry?
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt, yes. You want me to tell you my symptoms as an autistic? Everything's running in my head. I'll get diarrhea. Yes, go ahead.
Bang your head on the. I'm gonna take the test.
Don't do that. Don't bang your head on. No. You're already feeling harm. You have to add more harm to. No, we don't do that. No, we love you. Okay? Love yourself, right? So I'll get diarrhea, I'll have stomach aches, my chest hurts, my heart beats. And that's why I'm not one of the best test takers, because all these things, it just prevent me from thinking straight and all that. So like your physical health, your decisions, the environment, and what you're born with can all affect the mind as well. So mental illness and disorder, all right? So condition that involves changes in emotion, thinking, and or behavior, and it's linked with a lot of the stress and problems or problems functioning in social, work, or family activities. It also affects the way you live, your productivity, relationship with other people, and adaptation to change and coping. So I'm just gonna go through the statistics very quickly. I will say that a lot of these numbers are from last year, and I feel they're underreported because there is a stigma going on where they don't share it and it's not reported. It will not show up on statistics. However, about 1 in 20 of U.S. adults experience serious mental illness, and it's probably higher now. So 17% of youth, so those 6 to 17, have experienced a mental health disorder. So prevalence of any mental illness, about 21% of adults. All right, so 44% are on the LGBT community, the 32% are mixed, 22% white. So you can see here, especially with Asians, 14%, I don't think that's an accurate number, because there's a culture where we don't want to share something negative and all that. So it could be higher. So average delay between symptom onset and treatment is 11 years, and that's very disappointing. All right, when you're dealing with something with mental health, you want to deal with it right away. Deal with it right away, get a therapist. Okay, I've seen a therapist since 1996, when I was 8 years old. I've had a therapist since I was 2nd grade. So I see a therapist every week, and it helps a lot, all right? And if you can't afford one, if insurance doesn't cover or whatnot, have someone to talk to who you can trust. It can be multiple people, all right? And I'm gonna talk a little bit about how having a strong support system is very important to your well-being, mental health, and your overall well-being. All right, so it covers everybody, but the numbers are not really fully reflecting it because it's underreported. However, what I want to bring home here is that mental health affects everything, and a lot of people don't understand that. So people with serious mental illness can have an increased risk of physical health issues. As you already know, chronic disease such as diabetes or cancer. So 18% of US adults with mental illness also have a substance use disorder, which is very common. So people use alcohol, people use drugs. And rates of cardiometabolic disease, so anything with cardiovascular, your digestive system, They're twice as high in adults with serious mental illness. So, about 8.4 million and counting Americans provide care to an adult who has emotional and mental illness. And caregivers spend about 32 hours a week providing unpaid care. So, and 21% experience homelessness. So I live in New York City, that's going on all over. And so it's a very, very prevalent issue going on. 37% of people get incarcerated in state or federal prison. So those have diagnosed mental health conditions. So, and 70% of youth in the juvenile justice system have at least one mental health condition. And also 1 in 8 of all visits to the ER, the emergency room, are related to mental or substance use disorders. So it costs a lot of money. So every year, it costs $1 trillion just in the world, just because of lost productivity, just from mental health. So I just want to bring up why it's very serious. So warning signs, a lot of warning signs. So if you see someone who's feeling sad or withdrawn for more than 2 weeks, I've actually had a friend who, let's just say, deleted herself. I don't know what other word to say. And she was always energetic, always happy. I still have pictures in my iPhone. And you know, I couldn't believe it. So 2 of my friends were dealing with depression for a time because of the loss. So trying to harm or end one's life. I've had friends who told me that one friend wrote a goodbye letter, and I said to her, "What are you doing?" So if you're feeling that way, please talk to someone you trust. All right, get some therapy. Okay. So sudden overwhelming fear or no reason, sometimes with a racing heart, physical discomfort, significant weight loss or weight gain, and seeing or hearing, believing things that aren't real. As I said before, mental health, is also connected with excessive drug use and drastic changes in mood and behavior, personality or sleeping habits. So some people may have trouble sleeping, or it could be the other way around. Some people would be always tired, always sleepy, and extreme difficulty in concentrating or trying to be productive, and a lot of worries and fears that get in the way of doing what they want to do. So there are many examples. I have autism, and it's more high functioning, and that's what I deal with. But I don't make that into a disability. I make that into a this, THIS, this ability. You just change that little thinking. So, you know, even though there are disorders here and there, always find there's some strengths there. That's what I always do. But there is anxiety disorder, so PTSD is one of them. There is depression, there's dementia, there's bipolar, there's ADHD, schizophrenia, OCD, eating disorders, personality disorders like borderline personality disorders, psychotic disorders. So it's a lot. And you know, and we have to break the stigma there. Anxiety, we deal with this all the time. So body's reaction to perceived danger or important events. So when you get excited for something, that's a stress. It's a eustress, EUSTRESS. But if someone's screaming at you for not doing a good job at work, I call it distress with a D. So most people, when they think of stress or anxiety, they think of the negative ones, but there's also positive ones as well. So, you know, a surprise birthday party, that's a positive one. Kind of feels scary, like you'd be shocked about it, but it's a good thing. All right. So, like an alarm system, so it alerts us to danger and helps us prepare to deal with it. So there's a flight or fight response. There's also a freeze as well that some people deal with. It actually varies among different individuals. And some people will fight it, some people will just run away from it, some people will just freeze and they don't know what to do. And then your thoughts focus on the threat, and then makes your body prepare for the action. And then, you know, your starts going, and your heart starts to race fast, and it starts to go to the brain and all that stuff, and you're ready. You're ready for trouble. Even as a protective measure, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So it goes off when there's no real or immediate threat. If it's just coming from within, if you're just stressed out for no apparent reason. If it happens too frequently, it's going to affect your health. If it gets very intense, it's going to affect your health. If it's upsetting, causes distress, it's a big impact, and it affects your activities of daily living. So, how to improve it? What are some ways that you improve your mental health? Yes, go ahead. Jim, how so? How do you?
I exercise 3 or 4 times a week.
Very good.
I go after work, sometimes I go on weekends. I just hit the punching bag. I just do a lot of kickboxing and weightlifting, and it gets stressful.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Play your favorite video game you're comfortable with?
Yes.
Playing piano.
Yes. Yes. Meditation and gratitude. You say, thank you, I'm alive. Thank you. Yes.
Play peaceful music such as lo-fi or ambience.
I actually did that. Yes. Go ahead.
Avoid really mean-spirited cartoons such as The Loud House and
That's. I agree. Yes.
and watch anime that's not so mean-spirited and wholesome.
I agree. Yes.
I like to always just read to just unwind and also sharpen my mind.
To read and sharpen your mind. Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Animals.
Yes. I love dogs. Yes. About the music thing, I have to find out on Instagram, but there was an artist who drew a picture of Gyu from Demon Slayer, and he was a mariachi member, and he was playing the guitar, and I played a instrumental guitar music, and so that actually helped me because I need to calm down a bit. I'll share it a little, maybe afterwards, we'll see. So, you're all correct. There are so many ways to improve your mental health. I tend to come to cons to improve my mental health. I also bike, and I also do walks to improve my mental health. So those are your physical ones. Social ones, talking to people, therapy, all right? So trying something new, creative. That's not for everybody. Sometimes trying something new, creative could be stressful in and of itself. So you have to know yourself first. So everyone has different ways to improve their mental health. So mindfulness, yoga. I had a yoga session almost a week ago. Actually, it was yoga and meditation. What happened was, in less than 30 minutes, I slept for another 6 hours. So it's great. It's just be careful, especially if you have plans to do and all that. And emotional. So this is what I tell people. When you apply, did anyone apply for college when they went to high school? Have you gotten a rejection letter? You got a rejection letter? I got a rejection letter. How did you feel? What else? I have more feelings also, but did you feel like you felt angry? Yeah, I agree. I had a friend who was rejected for a panel, actually, and he said, "Curse that person. Why is this person? I don't understand." When he was typing it, he wasn't typing properly. He was misspelling everything, and it was, okay, relax. So when it comes to these things, when something unfortunate happens, such as a rejection, I always try to change the way of thinking. So think of a rejection as, it's not the end of the world. Think of a rejection as, okay, it's a stepping stone. It's a process. So I told my friend, you know what? Keep applying your panels. If you know you have this passion, if you know this helps a lot of people, you keep doing it. All right? And put one foot in front of the other. Always keep moving. You can take breaks, but don't try not to stay in one place, but keep going. Always find a purpose. All right. So what I'll say is that each and every one of us is here for a reason. All right. Each and every one of us has a purpose. Whether you know it or not, it's okay. All of us, all of you are valid. So I just want to let you know about that. All right. If you have no friends, can I be the first one? So I'm on Instagram. I'll share it at the end. Okay. And just the one caveat: please don't blow up my DMs. Okay. Just you can text me. You can comment. I have a friend who likes every single post, and it's like, hey, thank you. Just take it easy. All right. Want to make sure you take care of your business as well. I'm always mindful of people's life as well, because when I ask for something that may take time or money off, I want to make sure that they're comfortable too, because I want to be responsible for making sure they're okay. It's not just me. I don't like to be selfish. So breathing, I do that a lot. But you have to be in a quiet place, and you have to be in a calm place. Clear your mind first. Breathe. I write things down. So for people, they would use therapy to talk it out. Sometimes I write things down. Sometimes challenge. So if you experience something unhelpful, turn it to something helpful. So say, okay, I got rejected, but you know what? That's not the only avenue to go to. There are other places that maybe I can get accepted in. All right, check in. So we're gonna talk about the buddy system as well. So you check with your friends, check with your relatives. We'll go over that, and problem solve. So think of it as, all right, you make this into a mission. You make this into some kind of adventure. I know it sounds a little weird and quirky, but okay. Yes, I'm not saying you can make everything into a problem-solving adventure, but it's there. That's one of your options. Just say, hey, you know what? Let's see if I can solve this one. I've done these a few times before. So at work, so if the shelves are messy, it drives me nuts. So I just fixed it up, and I realized, oh, you know what? It made the productivity better. But I didn't really think about that. It was more of, okay, I don't want to keep finding for stuff all day. So we're going to use the brave. We're going to use the brave algorithm to fight anxiety. So you breathe slowly. I tell people to breathe in 10 seconds, and then hold for a bit, and then breathe out 10 seconds. And you do that 10 times. 10, 10, 10. Let's try that together. Close your eyes. All right. 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get a tissue afterwards. Okay, so you breathe in. Breathe out for 10 seconds, slowly, not out. Not out all at once, but 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, open your eyes. What do you think? It's only one repetition. How do you feel afterwards? Relaxed? Much more, even for one? Wow.
It also emphasizes your diet.
That's right. That right here, that's a diaphragm. So you need that for breathing. All right, and then you relax every day. So easier said than done, right? So you have to always keep that reminder. So before you start to get stressed, and that's a note to self as well, because I've had my stressful moments, catch it first, all right? Allow yourselves time and space. So give yourself that time and space. Voice your fears, so that's speaking out, and eat and drink as well. Drink well. Like no junk food and all that. Those affect your mental health as well. So cut down on that. All right, so this is like our midway point. So if anyone wants to come in and share their experiences, just one, all right? Because I don't want to spend too much time. Oh, I want to make sure that everyone gets their turn. So what happened? What mental experience did you have? What caused it? How did you feel? What did you learn? How did you overcome? Who was brave enough to go to the mic? Go ahead.
So I guess one of the examples where I felt the worst of my mental health crisis happened a little more than a year ago. It was at the end of 2022. My previous job was one of the worst experiences I've had, especially with my two supervisors I had who were just total micromanagers. And like they would just talk on me like every single thing I do. They would just stimulate me to do the work as long as they were delivering this the same deliverables that we're aiming for. I'm like, that's all that matters. Like she's always like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And then they would prep me and put me on a performance improvement plan. And that just stayed with my mental health even more. So, and at that point, I'm like, you know what, I just can't take it anymore, and it's not worth it trying to survive this performance improvement. That's what, so micromanagement has caused my mental health issue to break down. It made me feel very, very scared of the future. And what I learned is that you're gonna have bad bosses in your life, and those bad bosses makes horrible working environments. And once you have a horrible working environment, that leads to how I overcome. Look for another job. A job that made you feel much more valued. And that's what I did. I applied for another firm, another company, and I got the exact job title I was aiming for. And I felt much more happier. I always look forward to going to work every day, and the good part is I never get home. So that means I feel that's another weight that's taken off of you, feeling the stress of wanting to be.
All right, thank you for sharing. So, yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
So I have a story, and it's actually from my university. So I've always struggled with mental health, and animals are a huge part of my life because I can't afford therapy. Even when you have insurance, it's like super expensive. So my dogs are like a huge part of like my mental health and how I got better. But for anyone in college, a lot of universities have free like mental health. And my university gave like a grant for all students to receive free therapy, and that was very beneficial for me because no one really teaches you like how to find a therapist. No one even teaches you like what insurance will find a therapist. My university did it all free. You do online, you do in person, and that helped me a lot because yes, you can write therapy, they're great, but there's nothing like an unbiased opinion that can help you, and that's really beneficial, especially because they know you. And if you don't like therapy, you will find a new one. Anything that suits you. And that's been a huge impact on mental health. It wasn't until I got therapy where I got an internship working behind the scenes in the council services where I got to spread the word because no one says, oh, I'm in therapy. Like there's a stigma. But anyone who's in therapy should be talking about it because we talk about it now, someone else in this room could be like, oh, I'm in therapy too, and we destigmatize it. That's so important because yes, we have this slide, and yes, we know mental health is so important, but people outside of this really don't talk about it. And that's so important. So that's when I realized when I went to therapy, how important it is to talk about going to therapy, just how important it is to have an unbiased professional right there. Anyone agree?
I definitely agree. I appreciate the story, and sometimes I fail to realize the depth of it that people actually don't want to talk about it. And I feel that starting here, we should make it okay to talk about it. I believe that each and every one of us have the power to inspire others and to help others. So when all of us improve together, we all rise together. But if we have all this division and all this toxicity and all that, even the people who are trying their best, like we all go down together. So it's a collective effort. And you know, I really want to thank you. I want to thank both of you for sharing your stories. I appreciate it. Okay, switching gears to bullying. Who has been bullied in their lives? Almost everyone. Oh boy. So I was bullied even before Instagram came out. Even before, I think Facebook barely came out. I went to high school in 2002, 2006. So I think things have changed a lot ever since after I left high school. And now bullying is not just limited in school, it's now everywhere. And this needs to stop. This is not acceptable. And everyone loses when there's bullying. The one doing the bullying and the one getting bullied. And there are just many different kinds. So it's unjust behavior where one person or group of people deliberately intimidates or abuses or coerces another person or group of people with the intent to hurt, harm, or distress that person or group of people physically or emotionally. So it could be in many different ways. I've seen this physical, that's the most common one, physical and verbal. Those are the ones that you see. Relational, social, we will talk about gatekeeping. I've seen this a lot in cons, actually, and that's not good. And there's also damage to the person's property as a way of bullying. And when you're being bullied, just always know it's not your fault, all right? Just because you're bullied doesn't mean that you did something wrong, all right? So even if you were to meet the demands of the person who's bullying you, they're never gonna be happy, okay? So do your best what makes you happy, as long as you don't get hurt, as long as no one else gets hurt, as long as you're safe. So there are so many risk factors. I wear glasses. They called me 4 eyes. They also made fun of my eyes. They think that my eyes are very skinny or something like that. They made fun of me because of my skin color. They thought I was an illegal immigrant. And I don't know I never understood that, but. So it comes in many different facets. So you can be bullied for every single reason under the sun. So there's social, as you know, there's verbal, those are the big ones, the physical ones, cyber one, which is probably the biggest nowadays. There is also the sexual one and the racist one. So they all overlap. So bullying at cons. Who's been bullied at a con? I've actually seen friends who've gotten bullied at cons. That's unacceptable. So we come to cons, we come to cosplay events, we come to anime conventions and Comic Cons to have fun, and it's like it's a safe space. However, unfortunately, there's always going to be a few bad apples. So there's a lot of discrimination, a lot of misogyny, a lot of homophobia, and a lot of racism. And people judge cosplays as well. I was Minato, the 4th Hokage, and I had one person who was not cosplaying. This person said to me that I don't have blue eyes, number one. Well, guess what? Contacts make my eyes get an infection, all right? I can't handle it very well, so I'm not gonna do that. I was wearing sneakers, so when you see a cosplayer, what's the likelihood of seeing someone's shoes? Is it a big amount, small amount?
I think it kind of varies. They get like ripples are that when you like approach or walk past them, like the person be like subconsciously knows it's the footwear they're wearing. I don't know if that's like true or not. Maybe it depends on the person.
You're right, I think it depends. But in my experience, I usually don't focus on, that's not the first thing I focus on. The first thing I see is usually the wig, the outfit, maybe the pants, all right? So, and the next, body shaming. Oh my goodness, who has been body shamed? I am.
Parents, they could have drugged it.
Seriously. No. You can cosplay whoever you want, all right? As long as as long as you don't do blackface, as long as you don't put any hate symbols such as the Nazi symbol. We don't want that. No swastikas. Okay. So within reason. All right. But you can cosplay whoever you want. If the person has a lighter skin, who cares? Cosplay that person. All right. Now, also authenticity. So there are people where they judge others for cosplay, because that person's not supposed to wear this thing. Oh, that person is supposed to wear that. Why did you wear this one? As Minato, I didn't have the bandage on my legs. So, but I'm still Minato. I have most of it. So people are being really nitpicky. Drives me nuts. Just know cosplay is costume and play. I have to emphasize that. There's nothing about race, nothing about religion, nothing about, what ethnicity. It's costume and play. It's an art. You can cosplay however you want to cosplay, all right? For My Hero Academia, I was Overhaul, but I did an e-boy version of Overhaul because I want to piss off the cosplay critics, all right? It's art, okay? If you want to do it a different way and all that to piss them off, go for it, I give you permission. Let's torture their brains. We kill it with kindness and we kill it with creativity. Cliques and gatekeeping. So cliques are these groups with shared interests that don't really allow others to join them. And it sucks because, it's a way of trying to kick people out, and it's trying to make groups really more exclusive and, and judging people based on how much they know. You don't have to know too much to cosplay. That's why, as I said, costume and play. Is it great to know about the character? Yeah, great. But if you just like the character, you just like to dress up, you don't really care too much about knowing the character, okay, fine, you can cosplay. So, questioning one's knowledge, fandom, and interest, they did that to me. I didn't finish Jujutsu Kaisen, but I still love Gojo. I watched the movie and the first season, a little bit of the second season, but still, we have lives. I'm a pharmacist, and then I have a Vietnamese class as well, in addition to going to cons. So, take care of your life first, okay? Of course, you can still watch your anime. I'm not saying you can't, you don't. It's just, watching anime also can help with reducing stress and all that. Great. It's just priorities. Sometimes life gets in the way. So you already know bullying goes beyond cons. It's also online. That's what happened with two of my friends. And cons should never be a place for bullying. As I said, it should be a safe place where we can enjoy and have fun and get along. Statistics, I'll just brush through it. And so more than half of those under 25 experience bullying at some point. Again, that number could be higher. So 1 in 5 deal with verbal bullying. That could be higher. So physical bullying, 5%, that's a little too low. It's probably more because, a lot of these things are underreported simply because there's a stigma that's not allowing them to report them. They'll think, oh, there's a backlash. They'll think, oh, they think they're weak. When you're saying something that, you're being bullied, that's not weakness. That's being strong. That's saying, hey, this is what happens. I'm gonna do something about it. So think of it that way. All right. So also there's bullying within the family as well. More than 50, about 58%. And other reasons could be a change in family dynamics, whether it's a new relative, or like step relative, or it could be a divorce with parents. Common reasons could be for bullying can also be appearance, as I said, interests and hobbies. I got made fun of when I liked anime back in the late 90s and 2000s and early 2000s. Clothing, how you dress, if you're an LGBT community. So, about more than 2/3 admitted to cyberbullying, and about 62% said they were bullied by a classmate, which I think is higher than that. So, effects of bullying, it's bad for both the one doing the bullying and the one who's being bullied. All right, so actually, I don't think I should say that word, right? So, being deleted. All right, so, criminal activity, drug abuse, mental health, so there's a connection, as you know, depression, anxiety, aggression, harm to self or others, early risky activity, sexual, should I say that? I'm trying to be careful with my words here. Poor long-term health, so it goes all around. All right, so even the victim of, even for those who are victims of bullying, some of them may start to have issues as well, where they start to become the ones bullying. All right, so some of them, of course. So victims deal with a lot of anxiety, depression, as we talked about, issues with sleeping, loss of appetite changes, avoiding just basically regular routines. And a lot of them, they just stay in bed and they have trouble getting out of bed. And frequent unexplained illnesses, missing or destroyed property. Bullies, they get pretty violent and they get into fights. And there's trouble at school or at work, and inability to take responsibility for their actions. And also they may have friends who are also bullies. And for both of them, you'll see changes in behavior, you see that their performance, whether it's at school or at work, it's going to change, and then you'll see big changes in, as I said, big changes in behavior. So maybe aggressiveness, and you'll see that. So when it becomes a crime, when there's physical assault, when there's harassment, when there's violent death threats, obscene and harassing calls and texts and stalking, hate crimes, and taking photo where they expect privacy, all those things, exploitation, extortion, hazing, all those things, that's a crime, you should report it to police. So warning signs, and there are a lot of warning signs. So refusing to communicate, unexplained self-harm, so missing items or damaged items, you see decrease in productivity, you see grades going down. So if alone or excluded from groups of friends, feeling scared, feeling anxious. As I said, sleeping patterns change. A lot of them don't have trouble sleeping, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to go to work, hiding online activity, so different emotional changes, low self-esteem, feeling helpless, and then there's feeling sick. So as I said earlier, for those who are dealing with stress, anxiety, or depression, there's also some body aches as well, and headaches is also included, and faking illness. So it goes unreported, and people, I encourage all of you to speak up if you're in that position. So some are ashamed that the bully has pointed out something that they're insecure about, and they're afraid of the backlash from the bullying. So pressure from peers to remain quiet, just to retain like a social standing so they don't get targeted or whatnot. So we'll talk about cancel culture. It's coming up actually. Concerned that no one will believe them because they distrust the authorities, the school system and whatnot. They're concerned that they won't believe them. They're worried about being labeled a snitch and could be a target for other bullies. And some feel that they deserve it because of a lack of self-esteem, or they deserve it because of they do X, Y, and Z. No, you don't deserve it. No, you don't. And failure to recognize if they're being bullied, if it's subtle, such as spreading rumors, ostracizing others, and sabotaging relationships. And there's an assumption that others expect them to deal with it on their own. You don't have to deal with it on your own. Okay? I strongly encourage that you have a very strong support system to help you out, okay? And as I said, seek therapy. All right, cancel culture. These are the new slides. So, who's heard of cancel culture? Who's gotten canceled? How was it?
It was awful. But I was a kid on my side of my little playground. And I would get canceled so much. I was so bad.
Oh my goodness. It's been going on for quite a while, but I feel as though it's just increasing. I always ask myself, what's your objective? What's your MO? What's going on here? Modus operandi. Oh yeah, you wanted to share something? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. So cancel culture is a call for or bring about collective boycotting or of someone or something after a perceived wrongdoing. So shunning those who say or act against someone else's beliefs and opinions. Look, everyone has an opinion, all right? So if you disagree, that doesn't mean you cancel them just because they have different opinions from you, all right? Now, of course, there's some nuance there. So if someone says something about maybe anti-Semitism, well, that's another story. But that's beyond the scope of this. Using derogatory comments, posts, or messages to ruin one's reputation, and encouraging others to join in the shunning, blocking, negativity, and toxicity. It's not very healthy, and I'll explain. So, if they're trying to accomplish in trying to make the person better, canceling's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right, you have to have them hold accountability and find solutions to do this. So it tends to rid the person or thing or the company or the brand on the receiving end any kind of redemption. All right, so people will get socially excluded, so people will get alienated, and that also has an effect on the mental health. And it's not the same as holding people accountable. Two different things. Holding people accountable, as I said, you call them out, all right, you discuss about it, and you have that conversation. Cancel culture does not allow having constructive conversation, discussion. So why is it harmful? So the ones who are doing the canceling may impose beliefs and opinions on other people. Misinformation could be spread. There's already too much of it going on social media. And it's not approaching in a way that allows people who made the wrongdoing, since we're all human, to grow, to learn, and to improve. And there's also, it's just that the this or that. And life is not always full of this or that. That's the binary thinking. It's a lot more nuanced than that. There's a lot of gray areas. There's no room for, any new ideas, no room for thought, no room to just reflect. And because of this, because of the climate we're in, even in the con scene, in the cosplay community and outside of it, you get more cliques and you get cults. And then you have this behavior where, you belong with us or you don't belong with us. And that just because you're using it just because of beliefs or just of what you like or dislike, that is not a good way to socialize people. Socialize, basically. May be forced so the cancel, those who are on the receiving end, could be forced to use underhanded tactics to defend themselves. So some people will go all out to say, hey, they'll say, I'm defending this because this is how I feel, this is my opinion. And some of them may double down and send hateful messages, posts, and comments in return. And there's no winners here. And all this pressure from this, for those on the receiving end, it'll make them do more bad things. Because canceling someone doesn't, what it does is, even though it doesn't, it's the opposite of rewarding. It just bashes people. And people will just use that who are canceled will just use that as a way to not only defend themselves, but they'll say, I'm gonna double down on this because I'm really feeling very upset and all that. And then there's no real justice served, no lessons learned. It's a lose-lose. So the issues that we have to deal with is that it's reactive and you're quick to jump to conclusions. And with this misinformation going on, it could be misleading, it could be just using just limited information, and the toxic culture is being created. And then there's no room for growth. All right, there are some people where I think from comments from years ago, they'll say something that's wrong, but they've improved since, and then the people who are doing the canceling, they'll just point out, this person is bad because 10 years ago, this person tweeted this racist tweet, whatever it is. But the person is no longer racist. It's like, what's going on? Everyone's different. No one's born to be perfect. All right, we all make mistakes. You keep learning. But we can't foster learning and growth if we just keep canceling this and just saying, oh, you did wrong, you did that. No. So you gotta hold people responsible for their actions. If you're on the receiving end, always apologize. It's not weakness. Apologizing is not weakness. All right, it's saying, okay, I understand, I'm sorry, well, what can I do to improve? So it's very important, always ask. So if someone tells you if you did something wrong, ask questions, because that's how you're going to improve. So what did you do? A lot of times, I'm not even aware of it. So I always want people to tell me what's going on. And it's okay. So it accesses the right ways of giving justice, but not vigilante actions. So at least it gives the person, just to express themselves and just have that discussion. Very important. We need to have the discussion. It's important to discuss issues in private before escalating it. So don't escalate right away just because of one statement. All right. And work as a team. So monitor behavior and then also help with slowly, gradually changing the behavior. Of course, if the person still keeps doing the behavior over and over, report them. So, as I said earlier, opinions or personal matters, don't cancel them just because they're different. All right, just because we have different likes or dislikes, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to cancel them. All right, and examples could be, oh, if you like this anime, or if you don't like this anime. You can't, cancel them just because of their likes or dislikes. So they're just some of the examples where actions need to be addressed. So the bullying, hate speech, anything money related, all those things. Now, you can cancel the behavior, but don't cancel the person, okay? And also, you gotta call out for the bad behavior as well. And say, this is wrong, and also find solutions how we can fix all that. So lastly, preventions and solutions for bullying. So I feel, in my opinion, cancel culture is under bullying. All right, so educate yourselves and others on bullying. So and recognize the signs of those who are being bullied, or bullying or bullied, and also encourage people to speak up. It's very, very important for people to speak up. Okay, if you have so talk about someone you trust, go to therapy, speak to a therapist, keep your communication, keep communication constant, all right? Maintain the lines of communication. Have strong support systems, such as family and friends. Set positive examples. Actions speak louder than words. And if bullied, tell them to stop, get away, and if possible, report it. All right, and be a good friend. So for those who are going through a lot of it, it's important to have positive reaffirmations and hear them out. Hear them out, the ones who are bullied, and validate their feelings and emphasize it's wrong to do that, and also establish a safe and positive space. Boundaries are important as well. All right, in addition to the mental health and all that stuff, you have to advocate yourself. Don't let anyone take advantage of you, and you're not obligated to anyone's interests. So, if you don't feel comfortable about a person and they want your social media contacts, what do you say? No. Say no. No. All right. Can I touch that cosplay? No. That's true. Can I hug you? If you're not comfortable, no. I had a friend who glomped on me and my wig fell off. Yes. So sharing things. If someone who you don't know gives you food for free, no, you never know what they put in there. Exactly. I know that's off a tangent, but the common one I hear are drinks. So if someone offers you a drink, what do you say? No. You get your own. Favors. I've seen so many favors. I think one person told another friend of mine, telling me, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? I need this for this. I need this for that. So set boundaries. If you're not comfortable, you say no. Who's done the buddy system? Great. That's a good start. All right. Yeah, maintain communication. Very, very, very important. All right. So, in some cons, there's going to be little to no cell service or Wi-Fi, even if you have 5G. So, group chats for Instagram may not work. So a lot of times you would need to use regular text through phone. So listen to talk to each other. You have to know each other's strengths, weaknesses, your needs, and limits. And of course, you have to know your buddy too, pretty well. So check each other, such as stress and overload. So did you get stressed? Did you take a break? Did you eat breakfast this morning? Did you get hydrated? Even just the simplest of things makes a big difference. And remind each other to take care of one's needs. So as I said, food, water. So did you get enough sleep? If separated, maintain contact, set up a meeting place at a certain time. So after you do all your activities, and you share each other's experiences. If your buddy becomes a danger, you're gonna need to get help. So, but first, before you get the help, just talk first. All right, before you escalate. All right. Lastly, I think you've heard about it already, but I can't emphasize this enough. This is the suicide crisis lifeline. So it's 988. It used to be 1-800-273-8255. That number still works, but use 988 on your phones. So if it's 24/7. So if you have any issues, if your therapist is not available, you can use 988. All right. I think we have about 5 minutes left. So if anyone wants to share their experiences with bullying, the mic is there. So if you can explain what happened, why did they do it, how did you address it, and how was your well-being affected? Anyone want to share? Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I've been bullied a lot ever since I was a kid, and kind of coming into adulthood now with working on my stuff. One thing about my job is I really can't mention any of my hobbies or interests because they'll just get insulted right away in various ways. And because of me being bullied for so much, I had issues trusting anybody. So at the moment, I don't have anyone to talk about reptiles at home. So I can't really answer how I address it. And as for my well-being,
So
I was
go ahead. Sorry.
last week considering off myself anyways. Didn't happen because no one was able to take care of my dad or something like that. But some poor probably bullying and having nothing going on for me.
Do you have a therapist by any chance?
I had one before, she wasn't really doing it for me. I did get a different one, and he's a lot better, but it comes with a little trust in him. And I just have a little trust in anybody really. So I'm myself like 24/7.
Wow. So I don't know if this is a good question, but do you have anyone at least within your circle?
I would have to have a circle to have it.
I'm sorry?
No.
You don't have any friends?
I know some people, but everyone is either busy with their own friends, families, starting something, beyond the one where you don't really hear from anybody for years.
I have another question. Are you from this area or no?
From the Berks County area, so I'm like 40 minutes from here.
Oh, I live in New York City, so
It's fine. New York City freaks me out anyways.
So I know it's not. Yeah, it's So that's a small town then, right? Is it like? I don't know a lot about Pennsylvania.
I don't really get out very much other than I go to work and go to the gym here and there.
Maybe make some friends in the gym, I guess. If you see the person right.
You have
Okay.
to get your phones on and we'll be offended if you try to
Understood.
say anything to them.
Understood.
Especially people being extra cautious about people at the gym.
I see. What about have you made some friends in the con?
Like, ever since coming to Zenkaikon, every year I've been wanting to and trying to. Most people just keep themselves or like keep the conversation short.
I think we should exchange Instagram handles. What do you think?
Sorry.
All right, so here's the next thing. So that's my Instagram, Wildgoldine. You can DM me, just don't blow up my DMs. By the way, what's your name? I'm sorry. Doug Sheen? Doug Sheen, nice to meet you. I want to thank you for sharing your story. I hope you get some friends after this. All right, you need, yes, thank you. You need some support here. So I also want to give a special thanks to my friend Kat, who's my mod for Twitch. So she's a mental health counselor, and I want to thank Demetrius. Actually, last year he and I did a panel on this one. So anyway, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the con.